All right, Shalom. All praise going on to Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and rule well. And as always, peace and blessings to the elect. This is another Gmsatl phone talk. And what I want to get into today is this account in the scriptures, in the Apocrypha. I was just meditating on things in the spirit, just really particularly to the truth itself and how powerful it is, and how strong it is, and then I thought about this scripture, because it's a lot of things that that may get to us in the spirit. We may be low in the spirit, we may you know catch a certain amount of hell, go through certain griefs, and the weight of the world weighs upon us to a point that it's like it's defeating us, or it's beating us down, which it does. But we shouldn't let that devour us and overtake us, because this truth that we have is the strongest thing in the world. It's the most powerful thing in the universe, because wickedness, although it's a force, it's not an absolute power, but the truth is an absolute power, So I just want to get into this account in the book of Ezra, in the Apocrypha, and to show brothers with reasoning, through the words of the Lord, how the truth is the strongest above all, and that Yahweh Bashmi Shah is going to have His truth. It's going to strengthen us when we need it most. Okay, women can't comfort us and strengthen us ultimately, money and things like that. But this truth, it can, in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmi Shah. So I'm just going to read through this, and I hope it's edifying. All right, so this is the book of First Ezra 3:1. It says, "Now when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and unto all the princes of Media and Persia." Now this is Darius the first, the Mede that we read about in the book of Daniel. Okay, it says, "And to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him from India unto Ethiopia, of 127 provinces." It says, "And when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied were gone home, then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awake. Then 3 young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake one to another." And what that means is basically they kept guard, over his room and over his chambers. Okay, so it says then 3 young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake one to another. Let every one of us speak a sentence. He that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king Darius give great gifts and great things in token of victory, as to be clothed in purple, to drink in gold, and to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and an head tire of fine linen, and a chain about his neck. And he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius his cousin. And then everyone wrote his sentence, sealed it, and laid it under King Darius' his pillow." All right. So they were basically trying to get recognition from the king. So they basically set out this challenge. Today they got these challenges, the water bucket checking, challenge, the ice challenge or whatever, and this challenge and that challenge. So this is basically, was basically a challenge to to see who will get recognized by the king. So it says that when everyone wrote his sentence and sealed it and laid it under King Darius's pillow, and said that when the king is risen, some will give him the writings, and of whose side the king and the 3 princes of Persia shall judge that his sentence is the wisest, to him shall the victory be given as was appointed. The first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is strongest. The third wrote, women are strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory. It says, now when the king was risen up, they took their writings and delivered them unto him, and so he read them. And sending forth, he called all the princes of Persia and Media, and the governors, and the captains, and the lieutenants, and the chief officers, and sat him down in the royal seat of judgment, and the writings were read before him. And he said, call the young men, and they shall declare their own sentences. So they were called and came in. And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first, who had spoken of the strength of wine. And he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine! It causeth all men to err that drink it. It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, of the bondman and of the freeman, of the poor man and of the rich. It turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor debt. Right? And that's true. Because wine, scripture says, give strong drink unto them that have heavy hearts. Or that is of a heavy heart. Okay? And let him forget his sorrow. So wine is definitely a strong substance to overcome certain heavy things that you may have in your mind pertaining to the flesh. All right? So it says, keep reading, it says, and it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor, and it maketh to speak all things by talents. Right? And then, when you read a couple verses above, it says it makes the mind of the king and of the father's child to be all one, because basically when you're drinking, you get happy, you get in that spirit of Jake, a lot of Jake when they get drunk or whatever, they get in the spirit of, that I love you, man, spirit, and, everything is all good, and, so it makes everybody one, like everybody's happy, everybody's merry. All right. And I'm going to keep reading where I left off. It says, verse 22, and when they are in their cups, they forget their love, both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords. So sometimes when you drink, you get to fighting, you get to arguing, you may have a grudge against someone, but it's not until you're drunk and you got that carefree spirit in you, okay, that, you don't care about what everybody's thinking, and you just speak your mind, The Gadite is called, strong drink, fire water, because it puts that fire in your spirit, so it brings out certain truths about yourself. Okay. And a lot of times you get in the arguments. All right. Verse 23, it says, but when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. O ye men, is not wine the strongest that enforces us to do thus? And when he had so spoken, he held his peace. And there was a scripture I was thinking about that actually pertains to this, to where let's see if I can find it. The wine actually makes you so I can get it in, I believe it's in Proverbs. Bear with me for a second. Just to back up the scripture in the Apocrypha. Let's see. Right, okay, this is Proverbs 23. In 29, it says who had the I'll push it up some. It says, who hath woe, who hath sorrow, who hath contentions, who hath babbling, who hath wounds without cause, who hath redness of eyes. All right. They that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine. All right. So when you have a certain woe, certain issues, you drink wine, you drink strong drink. Verse 31, it says, look not thou upon the wine when it is red, when it giveth his color in the cup, when it moveth itself aright. At the last it biteth like a serpent and stinketh like an adder. Because when you drink, you get that, the hangover. And that's not a good feeling, man. Sometimes you drink too much, you done for the whole day, for hours on end. It says, thine eyes shall behold strange women, and thine heart shall utter perverse things. And that's when contentions arise. When your heart utters perverse things because you've been drinking. You say things you shouldn't, and then boom, you get into a fight, or you get get into an argument in a certain minute, have been killed while they was drinking. It says also too, it says, thine eyes shall behold strange women. Now, philosophically, if you're drunk on a particular philosophy, that's outside of the scriptures, and it's basically the things that are pleasing, you get attracted to it because, it pleases you. But, when you drink, hey, you drink with women you may not have, it's like you may sleep with women that you may not have slept with if you were sober, the old saying about strong drink, basically turns, a 5 into a 10 or whatever, when you see a woman. All right. I'm going to keep reading. It says in verse 34, it says, yea, thou shalt be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, or as he that lieth upon the top of a mast. Because, when you drink too much, the whole room starts spinning. You start forgetting where you at. You lay down. Especially when you get home and lay down in your bed, the whole room starts spinning. You try to go to sleep, but your head is like you feel like you in a ship, moving up and down. All right. Verse 35, it says, they have stricken me, shalt thou say, and I was not sick. They have beaten me and I felt it not. Because, hey, you forget what you've done, when you drink. And, you find bruises and cuts, from the night before. You're like, damn, how did I get cut? To make it short, the movie Hangover. That's an example of this particular strength of wine is Hangover, okay? So I'm finishing out. It says, when shall I awake? I will seek it yet again. And then you just go back to drinking again afterward. You say, yeah, it's my last drink. And then eventually, you drink again. All right? But I just wanted to bring that out. And bring that point home. So back in we're in First Edges, the 4th chapter. All right, it says then First Edges 4:1. It says then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things, and hath a dominion over them, and whatsoever he commandeth them they do. If he bid them make war, the one against the other, they do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains and walls and towers. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandment. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil as all things else. So, if you a member of a particular army, you're basically fighting on the king's behalf, and whatever the spoils are, or saying to the victor goes the spoils, well, that spoil is going to the king because he's the ruler. Okay. And his word is law. All right. It says, likewise, for those that are no soldiers and have not to do with war, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they had sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. And yet he is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. If he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. So whatever the king says, that's what the people do. It says, so all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lies down, he eateth and drinketh, and taketh his rest. And these keep watch round about him. Neither may anyone depart and do his own business, neither disobey him in anything. O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest when in such sort he is obeyed and he held his tongue? All right. And there's plenty of examples of kings throughout history that have command the armies. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna get this real. Let me see. This is let's see, because there's an account with David when he asked for a cup of water, and they went to go get it. Let's see if I can find it. Right, and David was the king. Okay, and whatever he said do, that's what his servants did. So this is 2 Samuel 23 and 15. And David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. And the three mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these three mighty men. So, King David just wanted a cup of water, and the three mighty men broke through the Philistines. They cut people down. They sliced and diced, and they got a cup of water, and they brought it back to the King David. Why? Because he was the king, and because that's what he wanted. That's what he desired. All right. So that's an example of how strong the king is. Shouldn't be too much more. I don't want to make this too long, but I'm gonna keep reading. This is verse 13. It says, then the third, all right, first Ezra 4 and 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. It says, O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the king, meaning birthed them, and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up, and they planted, and they nourished them up, they planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold, or any goodly thing whatsoever? A man leaveth his own father that brought him up unto in his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil, and give and bring all to the women? All right, and an example of that, all right, would be with King Solomon. All right, so when you go to 1 Kings, the 10th chapter, it might be the 11th chapter, right? It's going to show you how powerful these women were in influencing even King Solomon himself, the wisest king that ever lived. All right, from that time. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So he fell in love with these women, man. Everything that he got, he gave it to the women. He dressed his garden, the food, the gold, all that. Verse 3, it says, and he had 700 wives and princesses and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his power, as with the heart of David his father. So, this is an example of how women can be strong enough to even turn, the great king unto other gods, and doing that which is imperfect. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get the truth. All right. So this is First Esdras 4 and 23. It says, "Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion, and goeth in the darkness, and when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him in a pomade, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admiral Bardacus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand." So, he was just so mesmerized probably, by the beauty of this woman. She can just do whatever to the king. And it's the king. He got foolish. So verse 31, it says, "And yet for all this the king gaped and gazed upon her wide with open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter, that she might be reconciled to him again." So, if she got mad, he got in that come on baby, that come on baby spirit, It says, "O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus?" Then the king and the princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. "O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasses the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things." And I'm going to read this scripture about the truth. This is, the truth is the word of the Lord. This is Hebrews 4 and 12. All right. It says, "For the word is of the Most High, is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is the discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." So the word of the Lord, which is the truth, is powerful. And I'm gonna show you how the word of the Lord is the truth. Okay. Right. So this is 1 Kings 17 and 24. It says, "And the woman said to Elijah, Now by this I know that thou art a man of the Most High, and that the word of the Lord in thy mouth is truth." Okay. All right. I believe it was another one as well. Let's see, because the word of the Lord is truth. All right. Right. Psalms 33 and 4. "For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth." Okay. So the truth is quick and powerful. And it strikes the intents of the heart, whether it be man or women. So it's more powerful than men. It's more powerful than women. Okay. So I'm going to end it on this. First Esdras, the 4th chapter. First Esdras 4 And start back at 34. It says, O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high as the heavens, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasseth the heavens round about, and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is not he great that maketh these things? And we know that it's the Lord that made all things. Therefore great is the truth, and stronger than all things. All the earth crieth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All work shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth, and is always strong, it liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness, and she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the power of truth. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, Great is truth and mighty above all things. And hey, truth is getting ready to be the most powerful thing in the earth again. All right? Because the truth, all right, as the prophecy states, is going to flourish. All right? So this is 2 Ezra 6:27. It says, For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which has been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And that's what's getting ready to happen in the earth again. The truth is the most powerful thing, and it's going to be declared in all the earth, and take over the earth. All right. But with that, I hope this was edifying. You know, it was just something I want to talk about and just edify on. You know, be confident in the truth of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, because we're going to need that faith in the last days. Scripture says that the fear of the Lord is going to be our stability in these last days. All right. But with that, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, B'Shem Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. As always, peace and blessings to the elect. Keep fighting, keep pushing, keep praying, keep reading, all right, and do your best to keep edifying and growing and abounding in the spirit. With that, I'm going to say shalom.